Okay. Priska, Chafri, Dorcas, karibuni sana. We say karibuni. Do you people understand Kiswahili? Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is a pleasure. It is an honor, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much. This is Nick Show. My name is Nick. And I think the best way to start this is for introduction. We want to know you people. Thank you so much. So maybe I will start with Priska. Just a brief introduction, what you do and where you come from.
Thank you so much, Nick. My name is Priska Gemelli. I'm from a village called Kabrus. It's in Eldoret, and I'm from Kenya. Currently, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm really honored to be here with you. Thank you so much for the invitation, sir.
Welcome. Jeffrey, kindly a brief introduction.
Sure. My name is Jeffrey Roming. I live in South Carolina, United States. I work as an engineer here, and glad to be here this morning.
Okay. Welcome to the show. Dorcas.
Thank you so much, Nick. My name is Dorcas Wanyonyi. I'm from Kenya, Kakamega County. I live in Texas, and I'm a registered nurse.
Okay, welcome, Dorcas. I know there are some people who are still going to join us as we continue. And I want to welcome Priska to tell us to a brief introduction of what we are going to expect on this show today. Priska, kindly brief introduction.
Okay. So it's a new year. It has been new. It's not even new anymore because it was new 3 days ago, and we are here. So we need to know, like, what does the year hold? What can we do, and work on ourselves in order to be so that we can have a successful year. So that's why we are here. We need to discuss a little bit about the importance of having goals, the importance of education, having consistency, using our times very well, and being disciplined, among other things. So I really welcome all of you. Karibuni sana. You can ask questions in the comment section, and we'll be happy to answer them. It's a panel of 5. We still have one more person to join us. So welcome everybody, wherever you are, in Kenya, in America, wherever you are right now. We really welcome you. We're humbled to be part of this, so that we can learn from each other. We cannot learn, we cannot just do it by ourselves. We need to like work as a group or as a team so that we can achieve what we need to do in this world. We are not just here to just eat, sleep, and that's not all we need to do. We have important stuff to do. So welcome everybody, and for now I'll give it back to Nick so that we can do like a little bit of a welcome song, then we can continue from there.
Great. Okay, thank you so much for that brief introduction. I want to say we have a caption which says, what the new year brings to you will depend greatly, a great deal on what you bring to the new year. So it's all about us to plan our new year. And I think Priska said we will have a song, just a brief one, and then we will continue from there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that song. Priska, I think it is time for us to start our discussion today. And our first topic will be on goals. I know we should set something, some goals for us to achieve this year. It's a new year. And Priska, I want you to take to say something on this, and then we can welcome our mentors, Jeffrey, Dorcas. So Priska, kindly say something on our goals, the goals that we need to set for the new year. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Nick. So to me, I've learned in the past. I've learned this more in the past 7 years that goals are important. And I've come to learn this through my mentor, Jeffrey Raman, and he has taught me the importance of setting goals, because they say when you have a goal, you have a target. You know where you're going. So if you start your journey in the morning and you want to go to Nairobi or you want to go somewhere, if you don't know your destination, you will just be driving anyhow. But if you know your destination, you will know what to do, what to expect. You know, you will plan yourself better. So the importance of goals is to give you that steering so that you will know where to go and what to do. So for now, I'll give Jeffrey to give us a little bit on the importance of goals and why we set goals.
Thank you,
Jeffrey.
Priska. Thank you. Uh, Again, my name is Jeffrey Roming, and I work as an engineer, and I try to mentor young professionals or students as well. And when you're in school, your goals are given to you. You go to primary school, middle school, high school. They say, okay, here's the curriculum. You're gonna have a test on 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now. So that is a goal, but it's given to you. When you leave school, you leave college. College, you have exams, and you're going to try to pass your exam and do well. But when you leave school, you have more control over the direction of your life as what you're going to learn and what you're going to achieve. But now that control and that privilege requires you to have more responsibility and more accountability, not to other people, but to yourself. In school, you're accountable to your teacher, but when you're living your own life, you're accountable to yourself. This is your life, and its success depends on you. The government is not going to get any better. The weather's not going to get any better. So if things are going to get better for your life, it depends on you. So you have to have goals that are going to improve your life. And the thing that you need to do, that I do, and I recommend everyone do, is have a journal. I have a journal. I write down my goals for the year, and then weekly goals and other things. But I track what I'm doing on a daily basis, and I have a to-do list. And I look at my to-do list and say, and go back to my goals and say, these things on my list, are they really important? Do they move me closer to my goals or not? So I would recommend that everyone have a journal that they can write their goals down, whether it's 5, 10, or 15, doesn't matter what the number is. And they daily have a to-do list to say, this is what I'm doing today, and check it. Say, is this moving me closer to my goal? Which one? Pick one, whatever it is. And so that's important to do so that you can make sure that you're making reasonable progress in reasonable time. You can spend a lot of time going in circles, being busy, and getting nothing done. So that's why I recommend, when you have a goal, it has to not just be in your head, it has to be something you write down, something that you're looking at on a daily basis, and that you're tracking your progress. Have a to-do list. Write down the things that you've done. I have something here for the other day in my journal. And when this journal gets filled, I just get another one and fill it up. And it says, 1 hour is not sufficient time spent reading. That was on last week, Monday. So you have to keep yourself accountable. It's not good enough to say, I have 20 things I want to do today, but you also have to look at the end of the day and say, what did I do and what should I have done? And be honest with yourself. Trying is not good enough. Trying doesn't mean success. Trying means you put a lot of effort in, maybe, but success comes with you making progress on your goals. And it's important that you track it. A lot of people talk about goals, but they don't know how to implement, right? This is just one tool that I use in my life to help me implement working towards my goals. I have a journal, and in there are my goals. And if I think there's more important things I need to do, I just add it to the journal. And in that journal, I track myself on a daily basis and review on a daily and weekly basis to make sure I'm moving in the right direction. When you're in high school, elementary school, college, your teachers give you assignments, and that's how they track you on a regular basis. Well, no teacher now, you're grown, you're doing your own thing. So you have to give yourself an assignment to track yourself to making sure you're moving forward. If your goal is to own a home and you know that you want a home that's going to cost you $200,000, you can't just drive around the city and look at homes. You have to start saving some money, because you have to be able to put a down payment on that home, deposit. you have to start looking at your credit and saying, okay, what credit score do I need to be able to get this home? And every time you get paid, you have to put money towards that, if that's what you really want, right? Because if you don't do that, those several things, it's not going to happen. Too many people live their life wishing, hoping, expecting the lottery to come in for them. And it's just going to happen. Magic. It's going to happen. That's not real. Set some goals. Write them down. Look at them every day and measure your progress. I'll turn it back to Priscilla.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. One of the people, one of them, I like Jim Rohn very much, and he says, think on paper. Don't trust yourself. Don't trust your mind. Don't trust. Well, yes, think on paper. So I have books. I have books that I've been writing, and it gives me that whenever I go back and go through what I wrote, sometimes I'm like really, did I do that? So which means you cannot remember everything. When you go back and read it, it will give you that direction. It takes you back to the track, so that you will know, the way where you're going. Because sometimes you will be like, this is what I will do that. But at the end of the day, you find yourself off the track doing other things. Then you will be like, oh, this year was just too bad. I just, I didn't do that. It's not important to set goals. It's not important to have these New Year resolutions and things like that. But if you write it down and going back to it and redoing the same things or even doing better on it, then you will be in a position to gauge yourself. And as Jeffrey said, you can be accountable. You are the one to judge yourself. You are the one to push yourself to do better, or you will be just sitting there and doing nothing, and you'll be blaming everything. So for now, I'll welcome Dorcas to give us some points too.
I agree to all of you about goals. They help us move from one step to another. People have goals, people have resolutions each and every year that starts. People say, oh, I want to do this. I want to lose some weight. I want to earn some more money. I want to build a house. But what they forget is the how to do those things. Like in nursing, we have what we call the nursing care plan, where you plan the care of the patient. You set goals like, I want this patient to be eating a meal by the end of the day. But again, you have to put in the interventions as to how you are going to achieve that goal for that patient. So that is one key thing that people need to learn. Like, I want to build a house, but how am I going to do it? Then put down your points and say, I want to do this. I want to do this. I need to save some money, as Jeffrey said. I need to do this. And another important thing about setting goals that I may say is have realistic goals. Don't just set goals because your mind is telling you that you need to set goals. Don't say you want to build a $1 million house when you don't have even a job. Set realistic goals that you can at least achieve them. Go step by step. This year I did this. So what else can I add on? For example, last year I had a goal of having a home in US and having another home in Kenya, starting to build my retirement home in Kenya. So at least I achieved one. I managed to get a home here, but because of the interest rates, I had to spend a lot of money securing this home here. The money that I was to start setting up a home back in Kenya wasn't enough. So right now I'm asking myself, I still have these last year goal that did not complete. Now I'm working on what I need to do to complete some of these goals that did not get completed for last year. So it's not just a matter of you setting goals every year. If you set 10 goals for this year and you achieved only 2 goals, so next year, if you are to set another 10 goals, just remember that you have the 8 goals you didn't complete for last year. So you just don't keep on setting new goals each and every year and you don't achieve them, then you are not making any progress. So that is the point. Set goals that are realistic and have plan in order on how to achieve those goals and work towards them step by step. If you don't achieve them, ask yourself, why didn't I achieve them? What can I do better this time to achieve these goals? Then what can I add on top of these goals? If you feel like you cannot add on something, there's no problem. Work on what you didn't finish first. I remember my high school teacher never let us go to the next assignment before you finish the previous one, because it means you are not learning. You have to finish the previous assignment, understand that assignment before you can proceed to the next one. So that's one thing I can tell people about goals. Set realistic goals and work towards them. Have plans in order on how to achieve those goals. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So I know there are some people, maybe if someone is watching us and you want us to answer your questions, you can comment. You can leave a comment, and then we will see your questions. Thank you so much, Dorcas. Jeffrey, someone can ask. I know many people. We have a lot of goals which we have not achieved for many years, and I think maybe in one case or another, maybe it was unrealistic, like the way Dorcas can say. Is it allowed to drop that call and choose another call?
Well, yes, it's important that you approach life in a practical term, right? So if you say you want to finish college in 2 years because you saw somebody on TV do it, then and you get started and you say, this is not going to take 2 years, maybe it'll take 3 or 4, but let me make sure that I maintain a high GPA while I'm doing this, because it's going to create opportunities for me in the future. You can adjust your goals. You need to adjust your goals. Sometimes we don't have a proper perspective of how the world is around us, and so we need to make sure that we make changes. We may have a goal of doing something in Kenya, but the opportunity may not, the climate, the timing, the political situation may not be right to do it there. So you may have to change your goals and let me do something someplace else. Not to do nothing, but maybe do something someplace else. Or even if you start in college and you say, I'm gonna start off as in a business major, and then you say, no, what, I'm going to change to do nursing, or I'm going to change to do engineering, or I'm going to change to do something, to do education. That's okay. Once you know that change is gonna be equal to or better than what you were looking at before, right? So it doesn't make sense. You're being a highly intelligent student and very creative, and you move from a career path that's going to pay you $100,000 US dollars a year to something that's going to pay you 30, just because you say, oh, this is very interesting. That doesn't make sense. So you have to make sure that when you're changing your goals, you're doing something that's comparable, that's still moving you forward in life and creating opportunities for you. But yes, you can change goals. But if you're changing your goal every week, that means you don't know what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You need goals because you know what you want to do, where you want to go in life. If you keep changing every week, then you need to sit down and maybe talk to someone and say, okay, what is it that you really want to do in life?
Okay, that is great. I want us also to talk about these goals in terms of education, because I know you mentioned something like finishing college in two years. So I wanted to mention something on education, maybe because it will assist someone.
Sure. I think that we have to accept that we live in a highly technological world where satellites are going up every day, new technologies are being created. And so, how are you going to be compensated in a society that's highly technological without knowing anything? It's not possible. You're going to struggle in life, right? They're building computers, they're building robots, they're building more faster airplanes, bigger airplanes, satellites that go into space, cloud computing. You heard about that. Well, where are you going to situate yourself in that environment so that you can benefit, so you can profit, right? That's what you have to consider. So you need to have some kind of education in the areas where the money is at. I like carpentry. My father was a builder. I like going on jobs with friends, and we do small jobs. However, it doesn't give me the type of money, the type of income that I want for the lifestyle that I want to enjoy. So I do that as a hobby, and I work as an engineer because it can provide me the type of income and lifestyle that I want. So to become an engineer, I had to at least do a minimum of 5 years of college to become an engineer. Most nurses are between nursing to be a nurse, you're going to do at least 4 to 5 years of college, right? To be a computer programmer, you don't necessarily have to go to college, but college allows you structure, and it gives you skill sets beyond just being able to program. It gives you skill sets that are necessary to interact with other people and to do well. So college provides you an environment to develop yourself over several years, your knowledge base, your skill sets, and your network. Because a lot of people get jobs because of people they know. And so you're in an environment where you're meeting people who are doing things in the world, doing things within their lives, and who know other people to create a network for you to have opportunities, right? Now, if there's 20 people and 20 people, none of them have jobs and they don't know any jobs at, how are they going to help? How are anyone in that group going to help each other? But if there are 20 people who graduate from a university, this one's working for Microsoft, this one's working for the government of Kenya, this one's working in the UK, the next one's working in Switzerland. Now you have a network that you can say, hey, where are the opportunities at? So that, I think the education is important. One, it provides you the skills that you need to be competitive in the world, and two, it gives you the network of people that you can have more opportunities in the world.
Okay, that's great. Priska, you want to say something?
Yes, to add on what Jeffrey just said, we need to learn the importance of education just in general. You need to, whether you went to school the 15 years or something like that from primary school to where you are, or if after that, when you've already graduated, the importance of continued education, educating yourself on because when you have different skill sets, you are able to fit in different situations or different backgrounds and be able to at least be somebody there and achieve something. You can be called to do something if you are educated in one area and you have that skill set that the company needs, or the kind of people you have need. Then you are in a competitive environment where you can really bring some value in this, department or something like that. So it is important to have education, and we need to instill this in our own people or ourselves so that we can be valuable in the marketplace, because we cannot like fool ourselves and be like, oh, I'm valuable, I'm so and so, such and such a person, I have this degree in nursing, I don't want to get another degree in something else. Sometimes you may need something to supplement or support what you have so that you can fit in different situations. So for that, I'm going to welcome Dorcas so that she can tell us a little bit about education and what we need, especially on our young people.
Yeah, I just add on a little bit about it. As Jeffrey said, we live in an ever-changing world. Whatever is happening today might not be happening tomorrow. Technology is changing at a pretty very fast pace. So you want to be relevant to the society, to your community, to what is happening around you. The phones we were using 10 years back, they're not the phones we are using right now. So that means what? You have to keep abreast on education. You have to keep learning and knowing what's going on. So you are not first out of the market, as Priska said. So this is important for our younger generations, that they need to work hard in whatever they are doing. Right now, it's finding resources is much easier than our time when we were at school. We could not get like online resources and such like. So right now, there are so many platforms online that younger people or people in schools, in colleges, even us adults, us who are in professions, if you like to grow in your profession, to learn more things, to stay ahead of things, you have to keep learning. There's Google, there's all the resources. If you Google something, you find, and there's a way you can find genuine materials that has been researched on. So this is something like students and people who are in professions can use to learn things that will help them in their careers. So you have to keep yearning for more knowledge, and it's available just on our phones. Yeah. The problem is now social media is taking over things, and people are concentrating more on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and they forget that they can still use the same phones to educate themselves. So it's about prioritization. Do what is important to you first before you do the rest. Social media is important, yes. It keeps you connected to your friends and family, but education is also very much important. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, if I may ask a question, this one is random. Do someone have an experience on maybe a year whereby you never set any calls, and what happened to you? You know, we understand that you people we cannot talk about now, because I know now you have calls, right? Can we talk about those years back when Priska, you were in Eldoret selling airtime? Yeah, you know. Can we talk about that day? Maybe there is someone who doesn't have calls, and maybe to some people they don't see calls as something. We live for today, you know. We don't know what tomorrow brings, so we just live for today. So I know many people are on that category, and maybe if you have any experience on the same.
Okay. Just to say a little bit about that. When you go in life with fingers crossed, you'll be like, whatever happens, that happens. You wake up in the morning, you don't achieve much. You can achieve, you can look back and be like, I did that, I did this, but you don't achieve much. If you have a goal, you will achieve much better, or you have a better picture of what you want or where you are going. But when you don't have a goal, you just go. It's like somebody said, when you're shooting an arrow and you don't have an aim, you will not miss. But when you have an aim, you have where you want, like the bullseye, you will know, like, that's where I want, and I want my arrow to be in that middle point of that bullseye. So if you have a goal, it will steer you straight to what you want. It doesn't matter how long it will take, especially if you are a student and you want to be like an engineer or a doctor or something. If your goal is to be a doctor, it doesn't matter what goes around you, like for the years. You have that goal of being a doctor and you will work towards it. But if you don't have that goal of being a doctor, in 10 years time you will be the same person. You will not change, you will be the same person. But you have a goal, you will know where you're going and what you will achieve in those 4 years or 5 years to come. So for now, I'll welcome Edna to say something about goals and education.
Welcome, Edna. I think the first thing you should introduce yourself, and you need to unmute. Introduce yourself kindly.
Hi, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me, Nick.
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. I've been having some connection issues on here at home, and thank you very much for hosting us, and we really appreciate, and thank you for going on with the program. And we are happy to be here, and I think you guys had started about goals and education. So I'll welcome my husband. He's very conversant about goals because he's been doing assisting mental health guys in regards to job placement and keeping up their lives here in the US. So let me welcome him, and then I'll continue later on. Thank you very much. Welcome, Mr. San Simmons.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
It's good evening.
Fine.
Well, it's good evening, I guess, in Kenya. It's morning here. So, like Edna said, I've got a background working with actually a diverse population. I've worked with the mentally ill, with the homeless, with the veterans from the military, and with the drug and alcohol population. So I've worked with quite a few people, and around those issues, we found that goals are one of the more important issues to get people to focus on their lives and their growth of their lives, and it involves people actually getting out of their comfort zone and establishing a pattern in their life and breaking the pattern that they have. A lot of people, especially even today, young people, they don't think about goals. They don't. They're interested in what's happening right now. And you talk to them about goals, and it takes time away from their gaming and their time on Facebook and doing those fun things. Setting goals and having to sit down and plan out your life. Sometimes they don't really think that's important, and especially our teenagers today. It's just not an important issue to them. You talk to them about goals, and they really don't want to talk to you very much. And one thing I do with our own goals, I did it with my kids growing up, and I'm thankful that they tell me every year they sit down in January with their wives and map out a plan for the upcoming year, and I think that's really important because it showed that they listened to what they were taught when they were growing up, and they've applied it to their own lives. We split our goals into specific areas like personal goals, financial goals, spiritual goals, and professional goals. And I think every one of those areas are important, and we really tend to neglect our spiritual goals. That's an area. I mean, it's like running a car with a flat tire. If you don't have all of those goals, all of those areas addressed, it's hard to get your life in tune. And we could make an entire presentation on just each one of those. So I've just highlighted them real quick there. And when we talk about goals, they're not wishes. This isn't a wish list. It's specific things that you want to obtain within this specific time frame. And we used an acronym called SMART. It's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Like specific actions have to be taken. If you just talk about I want to lose weight, for example, that's nice, but you're not telling me what actions you're going to take to lose that weight. A better thing would be I want to lose, say, 10 pounds in 3 months by going to the gym 3 times a week and doing specific types of exercise. There you've narrowed it down to very specific ways you're going to attain your goal. And there's different types of goals. There's long-term goals. I think you guys had already mentioned that. Businesses, they'll have a 5 and a 10-year goals that they want to achieve. We should do the same thing in our own lives, and I've narrowed that down a little more because many people, especially young people, don't think 5 years down the road. So I tried to knock it down to like 3 years and say, where would you like to be in 3 years? How do you want to get there? And we started out with a big goal, the main goal, say they want to be a specific career field. Now, let's narrow it down a little bit. What is it going to take to get you there in whatever period of time you're pushing to get there by? So we break that down, and then we have, like, every month or every 3 months, every quarter, whichever, what do you want to accomplish during this time frame that inches you closer to that goal? And these goals, like I said before, these goals aren't a wish list. They need to, if we stick with this SMART acronym, we tend to have more realistic goals that are zeroed in on our overall goal, our long-term goal. And another important thing is writing down those goals. I know journaling was mentioned earlier. I think that's a valuable tool that's very underused. What the shorter term goals, I usually tell people to write them down, put them someplace where you can see them daily, because that's a reminder to keep you focused on the goals that you have. Whether it's on, don't laugh, whether it's on the bathroom mirror, because that's someplace you go every day. It might scare you when you look in it, but your goals are there. Those things are very important. You need to see them. Don't just make the goals and put them in a notebook and put them aside and look at them again at the end of the year, because you'll probably be shocked at what you did not accomplish this year. So we want to keep those goals alive. And they're not in concrete. These goals are like a living document. These things can change as the year goes by. If you're seeing that one goal is not being made, is not being accomplished, sit down and analyze it. Was it a realistic goal? Was it something you maybe need to put aside and bring it back later and replace it with a more realistic goal? If you set these real high goals and don't accomplish them, it's discouraging, and a lot of times you're going to quit because I'm not getting anywhere. This isn't getting accomplished. I'll just stop. And that's one of the reasons I'm kind of against New Year's resolutions. A lot of times it's a wish list. By February or March, they're done. And I don't mean accomplished, I mean lost. We get discouraged, yeah. We get discouraged. So I'm not really a big New Year's resolution fan. I'm more of a, let's set some realistic goals, kind of putting us outside of our comfort zone. If a goal makes you uncomfortable, a little bit uncomfortable, that means you're pushing yourself, and I think that's a good thing. So anyway, I just wanted to throw those things out, and I thank you for letting me address the group. And thank you. I'll give this back to Edna.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate. And I told you guys, he has a lot of knowledge about the goals because he helped me myself. Even before we decided, like, okay, we are now a family. He used to help me so much on goals about Aspire Sports and about Aspire Foundation. So it's really a great opportunity to have him here. And you see, you guys, is that this is a broad topic that we can narrow it down from one place to another, and we can have great issues to discuss to people, even here or back in Kenya or everywhere. Anyway, it's all about the idea. What do you know, or what do you have that propels you in your daily lives? The other thing I think you guys had touched, sorry for that call, you guys had touched on education. And this is what I usually give my people, especially my back home. What I used to do, I was a volleyball player, a professional international volleyball player. But I used to encourage my volleyball players or my colleagues that education is key. Because most of the time is like when you have an injury. Can you imagine having an injury and you don't have any backup, you know? What comes next after the injury, or what comes next after your retirement from your career? What comes after that? And it's all about, as Stan says, is that it's all about not being comfortable. You know, when you're comfortable, okay, like when you're in the national team, you receive a lot of cash. You're like, okay, I'm done with my studies. Nope. There is a time that will come that you'll need that study. So I always say education is key. And when I came to the U.S., because when I retired from the military in Kenya, when I came to the U.S. and retired from my active playing international volleyball, when I came here, I was like, I don't want to be comfortable. So when I went to work somewhere, I was like, okay, I can still better my education to be a better person. And when you have that in hand, at least you're a better person, you know. The boss was like, Edna, would you like to do something here? You can also see some of the positions there, and you're like, if I had this kind of education, I could be a better person, you know. So I always say, wherever you are, don't be comfortable, and that will help you to propel, and it will help you to move on. Otherwise, thank you so much, and I'm happy to be back. I'm sorry for the connection, but we had a lot to discuss, and sorry for taking a lot of time, but we are still here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edna. So you said it. You know, a lot of our people, especially the athletes, they don't see the importance of going back to school. I saw one of the athletes in Kenya. He's a professional runner. I think his name is Kupsang or somebody like that. He went back to school, and you know, people were like, "Why should you go back to school? You have a lot of millions of money. Why should you go back to school?" And they don't know, like, you can have money. Money is fluid, like it will just go. If you finish all the money and you don't have the education, or you don't have that thing that will support you after you've lost all your money or you've used all of your money, then you will be in trouble. You will be a beggar somewhere. That's why they say, oh, all these athletes, oh, they were so well, they had this money, but now they are beggars. They're working like hand to mouth job, which is, if they had educated themselves. I've seen it with this guy from Ethiopia. He is doing a great job. He was an athlete, or he is still an athlete, but he is doing a great job as an athlete. He has created a lot of opportunities, and he said, I didn't take. I was not just comfortable in what I was getting. I'm supposed to do something that will not just help me, but also the community at large. So he's doing something in Ethiopia. He has a lot of coffee plantations. He has businesses, different things, and which is very important. It's not just like the children in school. Excuse me, not just the children in school, but even everybody else that is doing better somewhere. It's important to have education, because it will give you that momentum. It will give you the you can plan better. You will know how to plan yourself. You will know how to use your money better. If you are well educated in finance, I'm not very good in finance, but I've learned that budgeting is important. So if you have that knowledge of the importance of something, you will know how to use your money and what to venture in, what to invest in, and things like that. It's very important to educate yourself, not just in to go back to school and do stuff. Sometimes you can do it on at home, Dorcas said, you can use your phone wisely. Don't just make the phone use you. Instead, use it to help you. You can educate yourself. We have YouTube. We have Facebook. Like right now, we are doing Facebook Live. If somebody wants to learn something, they can learn through here, and they can get better as the time goes. But if you sit at home and be watching somebody falling into water in a bucket and you just laugh, you feel like, why should you just do things like that and be like, I'm on TikTok, I'm a TikToker, I'm such a thing. And then when they ask you, what did you get from it? Nothing. You just laugh the whole day. Like you used your 24 hours to just do nothing. So it's important to use your time wisely. It's not like you are not supposed to be on social media. You can be on social media, but allocate part of your time. If you say I'll be on social media for 30 minutes, be there for 30 minutes, not like 3 hours, 4 hours. When you wake up in the morning, what do you need to do in the morning? Plan your day. Even if we're talking about goals for the year, but it has to start from goals for the day. If you start your day well, if you can plan your day, then you know like how many hours I'll be sleeping, how many hours I'll be doing such and such a thing for the whole day. You will plan yourself better. But if you don't have the goal for the day, if somebody comes in and be like, let's go, you will be like just following. You're just like following things that it's not even helping you. In Kenya, you go to town. By the end of the day, you will just spend a lot of money, but you didn't even do anything in town. So, which means you need to plan your day very well so that you will not be wasting time. If somebody asks you, give me an hour of your day, that is money. You should count your hours as money. That's if somebody give you a day, that's a lot of money. You're losing a lot of money. So you need to plan your day very well. Then when you're done planning your day, plan your week, plan your month. It says don't start something until you have it finished. So if you're going to build a house and you don't have a prototype, you would just be building random houses. So you need to to know exactly what you need to do for the day, for the week, and for the month, and eventually for the year. And they say when you achieve something, if by the end of the day, if you have a journal, like the way I do, if you have a journal, by the end of the day, and you go through the journal, you go through what you wrote in the morning, and you be, oh, I achieved that. So you just go by, I did that, I did that, I did that. Then if you didn't do something, you'll be like, okay, what did I do that did not so the accountability comes in. So you will say, okay, what do I need to do to achieve this goal? Then you will put it for tomorrow or later. Then learn to be grateful. If you achieve something that is major, celebrate. Just celebrate. You don't have to be with a lot of people. Bring glass of water. You don't have to have a lot. Yeah, just celebrate.
I will add on to that a little bit. I have developed something called self-rewarding. Like I set some targets, like I want to achieve this. Then if I get this, I'm going to reward myself with this. Like, for example, right now, I'm telling myself I need to shed some pounds off. And I've been wanting to get the newer version of the Apple Watch. And I'm telling myself, by the end of the day, if I lose these pounds, I'm going to reward myself with that watch. So that one keeps you motivated. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and another thing is, if you didn't achieve it and it's a major thing and you fail, put it on you. Make it so painful. So,
Yeah, don't reward, failure.
don't reward. Don't reward yourself for doing something that is not good. It's not. It's like a child breaks something. Then you'll be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll buy you things." No, you don't. That's not how you do things. If you did something wrong, put it on you and punish yourself so that next time you will get it. So that's my point of view, and I'm going to give it back to Jeffrey so that he can tell us more about the consistency. You start something, you need to be consistent and have the discipline of doing it right.
Yeah, I think one of the things that would help when it comes to consistency in doing things is to have a peer group, a network, people who are around you, who you can talk to, who are trying to do things themselves. They don't have to necessarily be doing the same thing, but doing something, and you can compare progress so that you can again encourage micro encouragements to keep doing whatever it is that you're trying to do. If you're in sports and you're trying to train better, then you need to not hang out with the guys who are complaining about the coach, but be around the people who are doing extra time in training, so that you can be more prepared and consistent. But keeping a calendar, a journal, and a calendar, so you can mark on your calendar. I did this today, or I did that yesterday, or whatever the case may be, is important. You need to make sure that every day you can account for what you're doing or not doing. And I think, again, the network. You need to be around a network, even if it's just on Zoom or in person, around a network of people who are achieving something, who are moving forward. So you can, peer pressure. You can create your own peer pressure to pressure you to make sure you're being consistent. So if it is going to the gym and losing some weight, then it's good to have friends at the gym. And if you don't have any friends in the gym, it may be good to hire a trainer, right? Because you're spending your money, so you have to commit to this. Similarly, when you have other endeavors, you might want to hire a coach. If you're writing a book and you want to make sure you get it done, hire somebody to help you with it, right? Because now you spent your money, you want to get the reward. So people don't value free. Nobody values free. So if you don't invest in whatever it is that you want to do, you're not going to be consistent at it. So make it cost you something, right? If you're exercising, hire a trainer. Even if you don't hire a trainer for the entire year, but for, let's say, the first 10 pounds, hire a trainer. If you're trying to buy a home, okay, you might want to invest some time into talking to a real estate agent. Get a real estate agent and engage with you to help you start looking at the types of home that you want, what is going to cost for down payments, what's the insurance is going to be like, those type of things. But get connected with somebody that is in that area to help you keep moving forward. So that's what I think when it comes to consistency. You can't. It's hard to do it by yourself. Most people are not as motivated as Elon Musk. Okay, most people need someone around them. That's why you can learn computer programming on your own. But if you go to a school and learn it, them giving you an exam, giving you assignments, will create, they instill a structure for you to be consistent in your learning progress. Not to go back on education, but that's just another example of how that works for you. But get a coach.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jeffrey. You need to have somebody to be accountable to. When I was in school, I was a student athlete, and it's not something that doesn't happen. I complained about my coach a lot, and I didn't achieve anything. When I changed my mind, and with the help of Jeffrey, he was like, okay, you're complaining about your coach about this, and that. Have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? Do you go for weights? Do you wake up in the morning and go for morning run? Do you like all this? When they asked me all these questions, I was like, okay. And then the problem here, it's not my coach. My coach is giving me what I need to do, but I need to be disciplined enough to follow the program so that I can achieve this goal of being like the best athlete or things like that. Like I use athletics a lot because athletes who are doing very well, they are very disciplined. They wake up in the morning very early when everybody else has not woken up. They do what is needed for them. and they make sure, especially student athletes, they make sure they pass their classes very well. So if you are disciplined in the field, you will be disciplined in class. But if you're not disciplined enough and you don't have anybody to be accountable to, you will just sit there, whatever. You be like, whatever. I don't have to do anything. Why? Why should I do anything? So I'll give it back to Edna so that she can give us, a point of view on.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks, Priska and Jeffrey, for your inputs. And I think Priska was also an athlete, and it's kind of like me on my side being a volleyball player. So it always entails discipline, and without discipline, you cannot do anything at all. So what I should add there is the growth. You need to grow. Like I usually use my example because that's who I am, and that made me to be where I am today is the growth. When I was in primary school, I used to play volleyball, just a little bit, and also running, and a bit of handball. But when I went to high school, I ran a bit, but then I saw at my high school, we had mentors. We had my seniors playing in the national team for Kenya. So they used to come back to school. Can you imagine that high school motisha of like, okay, you see your colleague wearing the Kenyan uniform, the Kenyan colors. Everyone wants to wear that uniform. Everyone wants to wear a tracksuit in Kenya. Today I'm not in the Kenyan colors, but I still have that tracksuit today. So it's always good to have that. So when I saw them, I was like, I want to go to where they are going. All the time, a car comes to pick them in school. You hear that, oh, they are in Nairobi, they are in Kasarani playing for the Kenyan team. I'm like, okay, I want to be one like them before, after my schooling, or even when I'm still in school. And I had to work extra hard. Can you imagine? I used to go with the runners for morning run. I'm not a runner by then, but I used to go for morning run because I was like, I want to better myself, to be there. And that time comes when I was called for the junior team. And then now, after I finished my high school, I went to the club, played for KCB a bit, then I joined the Kenya Pipeline. So when I was there, I wasn't resting. I was like, I need to go somewhere. I need to be in the national team. And immediately, when I said that call, I was in the national team. When I arrived in the national team, there were some players who were playing professional. And I still valued them, and I really loved them. And they were my inspiring people, So I was like, I want to play professional one time. So that is growth, You want to be somewhere, not attaining the goal, and then you sit on that goal, It makes you propel to the next level, and that's what I did. So after going to play professional in different types of countries, I was like, okay, Edna, I'm here now. So what next? Okay, you have to set another goal. And I was like, okay, and now I'm retired. You cannot play for long, when age catches up and we have these young players coming on, you are like, oh, now I cannot attack the way I used to attack so much. So you are like, okay, let them in. So my aim was now to be the coach. So I went to do a coaching course, and so at the moment I'm an international coach. So that's an advancement. And then later now I became the team manager for the national team for Kenya. So I'm not settling, My head is like, Edna, I have to go. I have to go. So what I should like to encourage people is that, yes, you have attained your goal. So don't sit there. Don't be stagnant. What is the next step? Are you racing higher, or you are just staying there? So what I usually tell even my colleagues, my players, or when I'm talking to them, is like, don't set a goal to just come to play on the club level. And after attaining the club level where you're comfortable, you're being paid a monthly salary. What happens after that? Do you have education? Are you going back to do something? Or are you advancing to the national team? Are you advancing to be a professional player outside, meeting other people? I usually tell them, take advantage of the scholarships here in the US being offered for volleyball players. We have so many volleyball players who came for scholarship here. They come better their career, and they better their schooling, their academic qualifications. So that is all what I can say is that don't settle down there. Make the call, achieve the call, and move on. That is it.
Thank you so much. So inspiring.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Edna, you have a lot to share. You have a lot to share. I think we will organize another forum like this so that we can talk to people who come mainly from Kenya to your country, US. And also, you can talk to them. I know there are some people who are still new, and then there are challenges there. It's a new country and all that. So it will be, I will be glad if you can arrange for that. Yeah,
Anytime.
So,
Anytime we are happy to be able to give out the information. That's why when I came here, everyone was texting me on my inbox, Edna, would you help us? Are there schools? I am a nurse. What am I supposed to do? That's why I welcome Priska and Dorcas one time to come and share their journey of being a nurse in the US. And being a travel nurse, people don't understand how it is. And I was happy to have them, and they were able to share. So information is always key. I don't know about Jeffrey so much, but I'm happy to see you here. And I think we will know more. We will learn more from you also. And it's good. And I'm happy. That's why I started that YouTube channel, because I wanted to share as wholesale. We call it wholesale in Kenya. So I wanted to share information because I get a lot of messages on my Facebook Messenger, and I was like, okay, let me start a YouTube channel. I can say I'm here talking about scholarship. I'm here talking about the embassy interview. Today I'll be talking about empowerment. And I'm lucky to have my husband who has been on this setting that he has already said, and we kind of gel together because he talks more on the experience that he has encountered on mental health. And the other thing that we wanted to come on board also is about alcoholism in Kenya, alcoholism in our region. Nick, we unajua mambo ya huko nyumbani. So we were like, we need to cover this because especially right now during December, people are forgetting everything. They mingle a lot on drinking and forget about their goals. Like now, if you tell them what is the goal of this year, what do you want to do this year? Somebody went home, drank, and that is it. That's why most of the people, when they come to these countries, like especially here in the US or Canada or Australia, drinking is not a problem. Like even when they are serving food, they serve with alcohol. Me, I don't drink. And mostly even when I go to those functions, it's on the table. I don't drink, but it's already on the table. So it's all about discipline, as Briska said. Discipline is key. If I don't drink and I see alcohol on top of my table, I'll not drink, But when you come from home there, you come to your studies here, and then you meet these people, they go out, they drink. What will you be? Will you really achieve the goal that you came here for? You will not. So it's all about personal discipline. So thank you. I'll be at your service anytime. I know sometimes we run around here so much, but we will always create time. Thank you very much.
I will appreciate. Also, Jeffrey, I know you have a lot of experience in education. We are going to organize that. I think maybe we can anything we can say, because I think we have spent around 1 hour, so we need to summarize, and then maybe Priska, you can take over from there. We summarize, and then we will plan for another day.
Okay. Thank you so much. We've done what we could, and there's time. We will plan for next time too. So today we talked about goals, education, investing on yourself. Jeffrey talked about it, and being so disciplined, the consistency in doing everything that you're doing, and having that heart of being grateful You be grateful for the day and what you have, and plan to have better things for your future. So it's important to work on you. And everybody, I encourage everybody to, whether you are a child or you are in high school, primary, or things like that, to have goals and plan yourself so that you can have like a target, so you can know like where you're going. So it's important, and we've learned this today, and we've learned the importance of
Priska,
an
before
opportunity. Hmm?
Priska, before we end this, we have one question from Facebook from someone called Marion Limo. Marion Limo is asking, what does a successful outcome look and feel like? Yeah, I want us to answer that question so that we can end. I'll give Edna, you can answer that question, and also Jeffrey, you can say something about it.
I think success is always success. What Marion is asking, I'm not really sure what successful outcome is. It's always success, because you cannot compare yourself with somebody who has achieved in education, like a professor. Let me take, for example, if you are a professor, and one person has no education. What is the difference between the two people? There is one with success, and there is the one without success. So the one with success, the one with a degree, or with a PhD, or with being a professor, is more advantageous with the one person who doesn't have. So that is success. I'm successful because of what I've achieved. So
now, Edna, like you see, you're successful now, right?
yes.
And there was a time when you were somewhere. How
Yes.
does it feel now? Like, this is the outcome of success. How does it feel now?
It feels great. It feels great. That's what I wanted to tell somebody. When you have all those papers, it feels great. It makes your heart more fulfilling. It's good. You're not struggling the way you used to struggle. It's more fulfilling.
Jeffrey, you can say something.
Yeah, I think that there are levels to success, and you want to make sure that you're progressing up those levels, up that ladder of success. So, as a student, you're successful on your exams. You're successful for the year with your reports. As someone who's trying to get a job, you're successful. You successfully got a job. Now you need to master that job so that you can move on to the next level of that job. So the different levels of success. If you are in a ministry, right? And your goal is to meet a certain number of people, at least just to share the word of the ministry. Then you have a goal of, I need 100 people today, and I'm going to share this word. Who knows what impact that's going to have on their lives? But that is success if you actually meet that goal. So success means that you're meeting your goals, the little ones, as you go up and up the ladder. And success builds on success, and failures, unfortunately, lead to more failures. So can lead to more failures. If you fail at something, you can say, okay, now how can I do it differently next time? Then you can move forward. But if you fail at something and don't take a moment to think about what went wrong, how do I make improvements? Then you're probably going to make a fail again and again and again and again. So you want to avoid that. You want to create habits of success. Watch what you're doing. Be conscious of how you're spending your days. Be honest about yourself if you're wasting your time, and if you're hanging around people that are wasting your time. These are ways to be successful.
Thank you for that answer. I think you can continue and say something before we end. I'll give everyone a chance to say something, and then we can end, and we will organize for another forum like this. So, Priska, you were saying something. I'm sorry for interrupting. I want you to say something before it will go in that order: Priska, Jeffrey, Edna, and Dorcas.
Okay, thank you everyone for being here today. I've learned a lot. Some of the things I thought I knew, some of them I didn't even know. So I've learned a lot from all of you, and I'm grateful. And I'm looking forward for another session like this. And for everybody back at home, if you have a question and you want us to do something in the future, put it in the comment below, and we will be happy to answer your questions, and we'll organize for another session like this one. Then we can do even question and answer the questions that you have. Let's keep on fighting and working on ourselves so that we can achieve our heart desires. So may God bless you and have a blessed night, everyone at home. Thank you so much for this time.
Thank you, Priska. I know, Jeffrey, we want you to say the last words, but there is a question from Diana Limo. She's asking, are there any steps to achieving the set goals? I want you to mention that quickly before we end and say something.
Any steps to achieving what?
Are there any steps to achieving the set goals?
Yes. Once you have a goal identified, whether it's you want to be a professional athlete, or you want to go to be a nurse, or you want to be a pilot, then you make a list of all the things necessary for that to happen. If you want to be a pilot, then you have to find out about what it takes to get licensed as a pilot. Find out how, what's the education requirements to be a pilot. Find out how much do pilots make. Find out everything about that goal that if you want to be a professional athlete, find out what it takes to get into the major leagues. Find out what other people did to get into that sport, and make a list of all the things that they did, because if they did it, you're probably going to have to do it as well. If Priska is a traveling nurse and she's making good money, she's in America, you need to talk to Priska and make a list. Priska, what did you do? Okay, write these things down. It may be, because the world is the same, it may be that I have to do the same things if I want to have her level of success. So make a list of the things necessary, the steps that you need to take to reach that goal. Where you are today, nowhere, to where you want to be. Make a list, and then start working on that list to achieve those, to reach your goal.
Thank you. You can say something, or you're done? Say something.
I'm done. I just appreciate the opportunity to be here and to share.
Thank you. Edna?
I think before I say my last words is that let me add on what Geoffrey said on the last one. Is that I don't know if Diana was here when Stan was talking about smart call setting. I hope maybe if I'll find her, I'll share the whole thing about it. That he talked about specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So that will really help her to set those goals. So other than that, I didn't touch anything about finance, but that's something that I usually also do with my sports people, and maybe next time we will touch it. And I really appreciate being here. Thanks. I met you, Nick. I don't know much about you. Jeffrey, the same. At least Priska and Dorcas, we've been in one platform before. And it's really so nice to be with you guys. And I really appreciate Nick for setting up this. We have a lot to share for people back home there. And we really appreciate doing this, and we will do it more and more. Others, thank you so much for letting me and my husband to be on the panel. He doesn't like cameras so much, so I think he has run away somewhere. So anyway, next time we will bring him to stay here until the session ends. Others, thank you so much. Be blessed. Good night in Kenya, and good day here in the US or Canada, and be blessed, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Edna. We are going to organize with Priska our next session. I think you have a lot to share, so we are going to plan that.
You're most welcome.
Thank you, Dorcas.
It was also a great honor to me to be on this platform. My final remarks to all of you and people in Kenya who are listening to us. Now we are throwing the ball back to your court. Ask yourself from today. Don't go into your blankets and say, I'm gonna do it. Tell yourself, I'm doing it now. I'm starting now. Before you sleep, get yourself a paper and pen and start now. Start writing something. Start planning your tomorrow today. That's all I can say. If you keep on procrastinating and saying, I will do, you will never do it. You have to start now. Do something. Plan your day. Plan your year. Make those goals to start now. That's all I can say. Have a good night.
Thank you. So before we end this, I think this show should run every Wednesday. What do you think, guys?
That's something subject to discussion.
It is a very nice platform, and I think it will be nice for you guys to share your experiences. I have learned a lot, and thank you so much for honoring this. Yeah, thank you for being here. We're going offline now, but we will keep on talking. Thank you so much. If there is anyone who wants to ask questions, they will post the question, and then we will answer in our next session. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.